Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel where we bring you incredible journeys of building dreams right in the heart of raw nature. Today's video will take you on a truly inspiring adventure as we follow a group of passionate, skillful young builders who set out to construct a raw house frame in the middle of a vast, untouched field with no concrete, no modern machinery, just wood, soil, sweat, and the power of teamwork. They began by carefully measuring and marking each spot with taut string lines stretched across the field, double-checking every angle with levels to ensure perfect alignment. Thick, solid wooden beams carefully chosen from the strongest trees were carried to each designated point. With shovels and sheer determination, they dug deep into the earth to prepare sturdy footing holes, then slowly lowered each pillar into place, using nothing but their bare hands and strength of will. They carefully selected long, sturdy wooden planks that had been dried and treated to withstand time and weather. Each plank was precisely measured, cut with accuracy, and adjusted to fit perfectly onto the existing frame. Before installation, they aligned each beam, tested for levelness, and used chisels and hammers to create tight joints and secure fittings. The sounds of wood being shaped echoed through the quiet field, forming a rustic symphony of labor and craftsmanship. One by one, the floorboards were laid down, each fitting snugly beside the next like puzzle pieces, completing a grand design. They walked back and forth across the frame, bouncing slightly, listening to the creaks and taps beneath their boots, ensuring that every step would be stable and secure. They didn't just aim for functionality. They shaped the surface with care, smoothing it down, checking every corner and edge, so that the floor would not only support bodies, but carry memories. Let's fast forward a bit so you can see the entire process, because although it happens quickly on screen, this stage is actually incredibly important. It requires precise measurements, careful adjustments, and attention to detail. From aligning each plank to securing every joint, every movement plays a crucial role in building a solid, stable floor, the very foundation upon which the rest of the house will stand. Before being assembled into the house frame, each wooden beam was carefully coated with a protective layer. This special treatment helps guard against termites, moisture, and the wear and tear of harsh outdoor conditions. They took their time spraying every surface and edge, making sure no part of the wood was left exposed. It's a quiet, often overlooked step, but it plays a vital role in ensuring the structure remains strong and beautiful for years to come. Once the wooden floor was fully installed, they carefully laid down thick protective tarps across the surface. These large sheets were stretched tightly from edge to edge, acting as a temporary shield against dust, rain, and harsh sunlight. Though simple, this step is essential, especially when the build is still in progress. The tarp helps keep the floor clean, dry, and free from scratches as tools and materials continue to move across it. It's a quiet yet thoughtful layer of protection, showing just how much care and respect they have for the work already completed. With the foundation and flooring firmly in place, they moved on to the next critical stage, assembling the wooden house frame. Instead of building it piece by piece in an upright position, they chose to pre-assemble the structure on the ground, a smart and efficient method that ensures better accuracy and safety during installation. Each beam, horizontal and vertical, was carefully measured, marked, and joined using mortise and tenon techniques or strong fasteners. The team worked in perfect harmony. One person held the frame steady, another aligned the corners, and another secured the joints with hammer strikes. Slowly, the skeletal shape of the structure began to emerge, like a wooden backbone taking form across the open field. Once the frame was fully assembled and checked for stability, they prepared to lift it into place. Every frame wasn't just a physical component. It was a milestone, a sign that the home was rising steadily from the earth, transforming from lines on a plan into a real tangible form. They continued their work with calm precision and a steady rhythm, assembling frame after frame, each one crafted with care and teamwork. As each completed frame was set aside, ready to be lifted into place, the growing number of structures began to tell a bigger story. It quickly became clear that this wasn't going to be a small, simple shelter. It was shaping up to be a large and ambitious house. The interior promised to be spacious, possibly divided into separate living areas, a cozy living room, a kitchen, a workspace, and a peaceful sleeping corner. Each wooden frame was like a piece of a much larger puzzle, and once they were all joined together, they would form the full silhouette of a real home. Once the frames were fully assembled, the team carefully lifted each one into its designated position, aligning it precisely with the pre-marked spots on the foundation. This stage required perfect coordination. One person balanced the frame, while others adjusted and anchored it firmly into place. With the frame upright and steady, they used power drills to create pilot holes, then secured each joint using nails, heavy-duty screws, and metal brackets. Every connection was double-checked to ensure nothing was misaligned or loose. The steady whir of drills and the sharp, rhythmic thuds of hammering filled the air, the unmistakable soundtrack of a house being born. With every successfully mounted frame, the structure grew stronger, more defined. The once separate wooden skeletons were now joining together, forming the recognizable shape of a home slowly rising from the ground. One by one, the wooden frames were secured and connected, and the house structure gradually rose higher, growing more defined with every strike of the hammer and turn of the drill. From a distance, what once looked like scattered beams now stood tall and proud, forming the skeleton of a real home. The upright posts were no longer isolated. They had become unified walls, straight and strong. With the vertical framework now reaching its full height, the team moved on to the next crucial stage, preparing to build the roof frame. Long beams were brought in, carefully measured and marked to create the precise angles needed for a sloping roof. This phase would complete the house's silhouette, not only offering shelter from sun and rain, but also giving the home its final distinctive character. Here, their craftsmanship truly shined. Even though it was just the roof frame, every joint and measurement had to be exact. This part demanded not only skill, but foresight, for the roof would have to stand strong and steady through many seasons to come. Before closing up the walls and ceiling, they moved on to a crucial yet often overlooked step, insulating the entire house with thermal insulation material. Rolls of golden-colored mineral wool were unrolled, then carefully cut to fit perfectly between the wooden studs. Each piece of insulation was gently tucked into the wall and roof cavities, leaving no gaps. This fluffy layer would act as a silent shield, helping the home stay cool in the heat of summer, warm during winter, and more resistant to outside noise. Thick, soft, and springy rolls of insulation material were brought in and carefully trimmed to fit between every floor joist and wall stud. They began with the floor, laying down layers of insulation beneath the wooden planks to block cold rising from the ground and to add a subtle cushion feel underfoot. Then came the walls. Each cavity between the wooden beams was gently filled, making sure there were no gaps or air pockets left behind. Though invisible once covered, this layer plays a crucial role in keeping the house warm in the winter, cool in the summer, and far more energy efficient. It also adds soundproofing, turning the home into a peaceful, quiet retreat no matter the weather outside. They didn't rush the process. Every piece was placed with care and precision, as if they were tucking in a warm blanket around a home that would soon hold countless memories. Before moving on to cladding the walls and ceiling, they spent hours smoothing down countless rough wooden planks, preparing them for the final, most aesthetic stage of the build. Stacks of raw timber, still rough and uneven, were laid out under the open sky. With hand planes and electric sanders, they worked on each plank one by one. The soft, rhythmic sound of tools gliding over wood echoed through the space. The sound of focus, patience, and dedication. Each plank was placed tightly against the frame, aligned with care, and secured with nails or power drills. After fastening each one, they stepped back, checking for uniform spacing and a seamless fit. The natural wood grain flowed along the walls like brushstrokes in a painting, subtle, elegant, and intentionally placed with precision and respect. Little by little, the house began to take shape, no longer an exposed frame, but a solid, cozy space full of life. As sunlight filtered through open doorways and gaps, it illuminated the fresh wood walls, breathing warmth into the structure. These walls weren't just protective layers. They were the very soul of the home, infused with the spirit of the forest and ready to hold all the memories that would soon unfold within. After the entire house had been carefully clad in rustic wooden panels, the team moved on to the next stage of finishing, painting all the walls in a rich, warm wood brown tone. With brushes and rollers in hand, they worked methodically, coating every surface from interior to exterior. The brown stain seeped gently into the grain of the wood, enhancing its natural patterns while giving the entire home a polished yet earthy charm. This wasn't just for looks. The paint served as a protective layer against weather, insects, and wear over time. But it also transformed the house aesthetically, wrapping it in a warm, inviting hue that glowed golden under the sunlight, blending harmoniously with the surrounding landscape. Once the walls had been finished and the earthy brown stain had dried, the team moved on to a beautiful and symbolic step, installing the windows. Pre-measured wooden window frames, fitted with clear glass panes, were carefully brought out and aligned with the openings left in the walls. With precise adjustments, they secured the hinges, sealed the edges with waterproof adhesive, and fastened the frames with screws and wooden trims. And just like that, the rough house frame is now fully complete, each beam and joint carefully assembled, revealing the first outline of a warm and welcoming home tucked within nature. But this journey is far from over. There are still so many exciting stages ahead: roofing, interior finishing, and the small personal touches that will give this house its true character. Thank you for joining us on this part of the journey. The adventure is far from over, and I can't wait to see you in the next episode as we continue witnessing this magical transformation. Don't miss what's coming next.